Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now today we have another war video, I believe war number 8, 7, 8. This is war number 8, I think. And it's New Nation against LVT. So needless to say, New Nation hasn't had the best season so far. We have had some great wars with like one death as an alliance, and then we have had many worse than that performances. So with our alliance, this season, you never know what you're going to get. Whether we are going to play very well or we're going to do some dumb. But either way, so far, I haven't died this season, and I plan on keeping it that way. If I do manage, and I do not want to jinx myself, that this will be the second season I go back to back deathless because I didn't die last season as well. So, um, you know, taking these wars seriously, regardless of how the alliance does, because I do not want to get KO'd. So for this war, I'm going to be using Nimrod, Absorbing Man, with Immortal Abomination synergy, and it is going to be quite fun and interesting war, to be honest. Well, at least I definitely had a little bit of excitement in a couple of these fights. Now, I will be boosting up right here, right now. As always, my medium attack boost or small attack boost, biggest green boost that I have. And I am actually running out of those. So I think next month I will need to get myself that 1,000 unit completion offer from one of the event quests. But here we go. I am activating special 3 defense boost instead of indestructible 3 boost because here I figured against Vision Aarkus, I don't think I really needed indestructible 3 boost, but just in case he manages to get to level 3, this should give me, decent chance to survive. Top of that, obviously, I do need to enter my magma form because this is Incinerate Poison Hazard Chip lane, and obviously Vision Aarkus also is a very good matchup for Absorbing Man because of the armor break, so I will be able to ramp up quicker. Now, other than that, the only, again, real danger in this fight is eating the level 3s, therefore the special 3 defense boost. I kind of want to try and be a bit more careful with using indestructible 3s. Obviously, here I do get parried, and we can see that indestructible 3 boost would have been eaten up right here, right now. So I'm actually kind of happy that I didn't use that boost because the main purpose of it would have been against level 3s. But that said, we obviously finished this fight out not too long after because of all the extra morph charges we gained from being immune to armor breaks, and that vision goes down and level 3 never became an issue. Which is awesome because this boost lasts 50 minutes and I'll be able to have it for the rest of the war. Next up, I do need to go up against Havok, and Havok's actually sneakily kind of like good placement here because even with Nimrod, Havok isn't the best option because Havok does have massive energy resistance, which means you cannot really do all that much damage with your level 2s. Now, if I had chosen to go for my level 1s before, that would have been helpful to me. But I just, well, in hindsight, I should have dropped the level 1 earlier, I think. But I thought that because of the phases of the hazard shift, it would be quite difficult for me to still have all of those benefits by the time I reach level 2 again. Obviously, I do not want to hit him in Incinerate phase. Here I do get smacked a little bit, but finally hazard shift exits the Incinerate phase and enters the poison phase. I drop my level 2, and we can see that it will not be enough to deal with that Havok. So I'm gonna basically have to do a rinse and repeat. And if you can place a mutant in here and that mutant lasts more than a minute against Nimrod, it's, well, not a bad placement, I would say, personally. Now, here, unfortunately, he does choose to throw his level 1 when I would have preferred him not to. But now the poison phase has come back around. I have more armors than I did previously, which means I do more damage. And this time around, Havok does go down. So not too bad. And there is going to be another very sneakily good mutant placement, which I think can actually work as a relatively decent Nimrod trap. And things could have went sideways using Nimrod against that mutant. So now I'm going to use a team health potion to heal up both my Absorbing Man and Nimrod. And now I need to deal with this power efficiency Nick Fury from Lizer. Shout out to Lizer, by the way. She also uploads Alliance War videos, and I do watch them regularly. She's extremely good Omega Red player, and she's also a war planner, which is awesome. So definitely look up her channel. I think it's just called Lizer MCOC or just Lizer. That said, now Nick Fury, and the dangerous part in this fight is because of Hazard Shift, I need to play this in Magma form, which takes away all my damage mitigation against Nick Fury, because Nick Fury's damage is basically all physical. And then on top of it, obviously, I'm not bleed immune whilst I'm in Magma form, which kind of sucks. The good part of this fight, however, is the power reserve. Because of power reserve, it is going to be much, much, much easier to always have Nick use level 2s. And I don't really need to worry about him like throwing a level 1, going unblockable, and then staying unblockable, stuff like that. So here we can see that the entire fight, I'm just playing as basic as possible. There is one moment that I do want to show as a teachable moment. When Nick Fury loses his first life, his AI goes very, very passive. And when that happens, if he's against the corner, it is actually safe to throw a heavy attack, even though he's not stun immune. This is like a super useful thing. So here we can see that he's very passive. You can always kind of like freely throw a heavy attack with any champion into Nick Fury right after LMD gets destroyed. Unless there is like Taunt or Infuriate on him or something of the sort. That is something that, some people have noticed it's being used more and more in Battlegrounds, and it's definitely quite helpful. And here, relatively calm finish again. I played this fight extremely straightforward. Just bait out level 2s, get to my level 2s thanks to Hazard Shift. I pause my forms so I don't need to worry about light intercepts or anything of the sorts. So it's a very, very straightforward fight. Just, don't make any silly mistakes and hit him, use your level 2s, bait out his level 2s. That's it. End of the story there. Next up, Void. And I'll be honest, I don't like taking this Void with Absorbing Man. I know that, it's definitely a doable fight. The only thing here, basically, you want to avoid parrying or inflicting debuffs on Void because of Conflictor node. And other than that, it's just Void. And that's fine, but still all the chip damage that adds up because of which form you have to use, then all of the debuff damage you might potentially get from Void. And the risky thing is obviously if you lose the combo, you're kind of screwed. And I have done this fight before, and I did make a silly mistake where I did lose my combo, and then it immediately makes the fight significantly more stressful. Other than that, because it is a hazard chip lane, I never pay attention to, again, light intercepting or punishing with lights and stuff like that. Only thing to pay attention is kind of like your combo meter and making sure that you get rid of those debuffs as quickly as possible. Here we can see that level 1 perfectly got rid of that Petrify. And the fight is going fine. It's nothing, super fast. It's nothing super dangerous again. It's just make sure that keep an eye on that combo meter and do not lose your combo and do not try to parry him. So block bait heavies, punish those. And here I go for another level 1. I should have refined at some point, but I just didn't find a suitable place where to do so. And even here I was more worried about getting the debuff off me than, triggering my refinement with medium like medium. So it's fine, that fight. It's not the worst or the best fight, but it's just I don't like it because of perhaps the fight going a bit sideways the first time I did it, and then it being quite stressful. It's just one of those fights where I really do not enjoy it. Now this placement's actually very good because Hazard Shift, Shock and Bleed obviously limits when you can hit him using Nimrod. You're bleed immune, you're not shock immune. One-Eyed Open also limits how you can find your openings, and you can't parry heavy, because if you could parry heavy this fight, it would be fairly fine, because then you could get your level 2 likely before Weapon X goes into his Berserk mode, and then you could finish the fight out. And here we are. This fight definitely can be very tricky, and if you are not relatively comfortable fighting Wolverine Weapon X, I would not recommend taking Nimrod here. Virtually any double immune champion would be better. Because the point is that you are not free to play here, as in like you are not free to attack whenever you please. And when you're going up against an extremely aggressive opponent, that is unblockable, that can go sideways very, very quickly. And I had to make kind of like a split-second decision here. How am I going to approach this fight? So I dropped my level 1 here, even though we are in shock phase. And now that level 1 has been dropped, I decided that I do not have better course of action than just steamroll through the fight, through the shock phase, with having all of those shocks active. But doing that obviously let me benefit from my energize, from energy vulnerability, and most importantly, get out of that corner. Do not be, dancing against the wall, trying not to get hit for Weapon X. And that, I think, was by far the right call to make, because otherwise, at this point when he throws his level 1, he has plenty of charges there, and I'd be stuck there, and there's no way I could wait out until he stops being unblockable, and it would be far, far more dangerous to try and avoid him, for the duration of that shock phase and hazard shift. So my health started melting, but obviously when it comes to mutants, Nimrod can just nuke them down very quickly. So I do think this is actually a very good placement. Because if I had gotten a bit, more shy, a bit more defensive, there is a very good chance that Weapon X would have smacked the living daylights out of me. So, it's one of those where it looks like perfect for Nimrod, but it's not a straightforward fight as many people would think. And especially because everybody has that idea where, Nimrod is just going to walk all over every mutant aside from Bishop. It's not the case if nodes are, rough enough, if conditions matter here. And in that previous fight where I can only hit him half of the amount of time, cannot rely on my parries for openings, it's just a very bad kind of like place where to put yourself in. And this last fight of the war for me is against the Thing, and Absorbman does Thing just fine. I will not play this perfectly by any means. I should have utilized my, heavy punish more often, and I could actually purposely push him past 15 rock stacks with my special attacks to feed Mystic Dispersion and be even quicker. But I am just playing this fight, very safe and steady type of way. Now, unfortunately, here he triggers his protection. But the point is, because of hazard shift, I don't really need to worry about maintaining anything. And here I accidentally eat a heavy attack, which happens. And this is going to be one of those really annoying things where recently I have been experiencing this in every game mode, be that Alliance War and especially Battlegrounds. But for like 30 seconds, the AI just refuses to throw special attacks. So we can see here where he's at 2 bars of power, and the timer is 4 minutes and 3 seconds. So 4 minutes and 3 seconds is when I start baiting out his special attack. I have lost the form already at that point, which I'm not too worried. But then we go, it's like 13 seconds, like plus. And that is not the longest amount of time by any means. It often can go to 30 to 40 seconds. And it's just so frustrating. But he didn't want to throw that special attack for quite a while. I got out of form, but I was at nearly 2 bars of power. So I got back in my form to gain my immunities very quickly. And, we're kind of resuming that fight. But yeah, the AI, I think it just kind of like breaks down in the middle of the fight at times. I have noticed it especially often with like Juggernaut when Nick Fury refuses to throw a special attack for like 20 seconds. And, well, whole bunch of champions, to be honest. Here, slowly but surely, we're just continuing the Thing fight. Again, I could have been quicker if I just dropped more heavy attacks, but I just tried to play this more or less as safe as possible. And I did get clipped here or there, but the fight went fine. So that was it for my personal contribution to this war. It wasn't, the biggest war or anything like that, but still, we did not die, which is like the most important thing. And the final score was 47, which means we died 4 times, which absolutely sucks, just not doing the best. There was one very weird interaction that actually cost us a couple of deaths, which was very unfortunate. It involved Nimrod on defense, but we'll glance past that. But overall, still, we're definitely not playing our best game this season, and hopefully we can sort out things for the next season. 'Cause this is not the level of performance that we expect from ourselves. This is not the level of performance that I think our opponents expect from me, and it is frustrating. But we are a team. We need to get through this. If there are some changes to be made, hopefully that will happen, and hopefully we return to top 3 contention the upcoming season. That said, let me know how your season is going, guys, and I will catch you guys soon. Bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about